Hey guys, Joshua Zamora here from ZamuraiBlogger.com along with Ryan Martin. We're excited for you guys to be here with us. Give me a 1 in the chat box if you guys can hear me okay. And Ryan, if you want to, and give us a 2 if you can hear Ryan okay.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Let me see. Oh, do I have to enable the chat box or enable the chat box? Let me see. Let me write a test. Alrighty. Perfect. So we still have a few more people jumping on here. Give us some kind of a 1 or 2 in the chat box if you can hear us okay. I'm pretty sure the chat. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Awesome. So we got people that can hear us okay. Alrighty. And we'll be getting started here in the next minute or so. LZ from Florida. Great to have you here. Raymond, good to have you here. Awesome. Perfect. So we'll be getting started here in a few minutes, just letting the late stragglers get on here. I know it's the holiday season. We're all sleeping in late, working late, trying to get things done for the last month of the year. But we're excited to have you here. We're going to be sharing with you some very powerful strategies that you can use to build a successful business on Amazon. Now, for those of you that may or may not know, you can actually build an entire business for yourself on Amazon, meaning that Amazon allows you as a vendor to sell products on their website. So that means that all the products on Amazon are not just Amazon owned. There's private businesses and private sellers on there that sell their products on there, and of course Amazon takes a percentage. But you can build a very good business on there. And the good thing about Amazon as well is that it's a buyer search engine. If you think about it, there is no other search engine that is 100% comprised of buyers like Amazon is. Anytime someone goes to Amazon, they're looking to buy something. So whenever they search, they are looking to buy something. So that's the power of Amazon. And that's why Ryan is here to help you guys get a little bit better understanding of that. Tim is saying, hope you will be touching on what's in this program, has in it, especially the done for you aspect of the second upsell. Yes, Tim, we will be covering every aspect of it. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started. Before what we're going to do here is kind of keep it informal. We don't have a formal presentation put together. I'm just going to kind of go back and forth with Ryan. And if you guys want to participate as well, you can. And just ask him a few questions about his business and some great tips that can help you to understand better how Amazon works. But before I do that, I kind of just want to share with you guys what's possible when you build a successful business on Amazon. Here's just a few of the screenshots. And Ryan, let me know if you can see my screen.
Yep, see it good.
All right, perfect. So here you can see this is a screenshot, and this is actually old now because it was taken back in November, and we're already in December, so about a month ago. So this number has gone up already, and I'll show you another screenshot here in a second. But this is just year to date from Ryan's account, $383,736.22. Here's another one, $35,000. In March of this year alone. Here, April, the following month, $35,000. Here, the following month after that, in May, $37,000. Here, in June, $45,000. And here in July, $51,000. So you can see each number keeps going up, and up after each and every month. And here, this is one that Ryan sent me last night, just at once the day closed. That yesterday alone, he brought in over $7,000 in sales. So, Ryan, I bet you're right now enjoying the holiday craze that goes on because let me come back to the screen. But I bet that now people are just going crazy shopping on Amazon because I know as an affiliate, even as an affiliate right now, my commissions just go through the roof because people are shopping on Amazon. So I bet as a vendor, things just get crazy for you around this time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I thought, let's see, I got something weird here. Let me put my Skype real quick to do not disturb. Yeah, and I thought Black Friday and Cyber Monday were going to be huge days, and it turned out that the day after Cyber Monday was even bigger than that. And there's nothing to get in the holiday season like making sales like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Simo's asking, those screenshots are from your Amazon seller account or from where? Yes, Simo, that's from Ryan's account. He's, in there you can pull reports on daily, weekly, yearly reports. So, Ryan, before we jump into a few of deeper questions, let's get a little bit of a background about, how you actually got into Amazon. What were you doing before, and how you ended up in selling on Amazon?
Yeah, absolutely. And it started for me a long time ago. About 13 years ago, I started to get into internet marketing, and I'll keep this part short. But the first product I ever bought was a MLM course. I remember I was 17 years old, which is multi-level marketing, and it just went horribly. I gave up after that just because it was such a bad experience, and I did the normal route that people do, and I went to school and I got an accounting degree. I really wanted to go into accounting, and I started after that after I got my bachelor's degree with Google AdSense, and it was kind of back in the day when it was pretty easy to rank sites, and I was doing fairly well. And once Panda and Penguin hit, I did take a pretty big hit. I branched off from there though into Amazon affiliate marketing because it's pretty similar. You're just like substituting products pretty much for information. Or information for products. And I went that route. I ended up actually selling all my sites at one point because I just was done with it. I went back to school and got a master's degree. And it just kept hitting me. I get these emails and stuff. I'm like, God, I keep seeing this stuff about Amazon and actually selling physical products rather than being an affiliate marketer. I remember 2.5 years ago, I went and talked to one of my friends about it and selling physical products. And he's like, God, I just tried this and, it didn't work out very well. You should probably stay away from it. Stupid me. If anybody asks their friends and family about advice for internet marketing, they just flat do not get it. They don't understand. They're going to tell you stay away from it. So you know what? I was stupid. I did. For a full year, I stayed away from it. And, I kept seeing these things and I kept wondering, what if, and I finally just took the plunge. I went through a few courses out there and I started developing my own strategy because they're so cookie cutter in my opinion, and they're based just for, the general person and not someone who really wants to just dive into it and get a lot of information. I look at it as like, their courses almost seem like they're looking at a view of the Earth from the International Space Station. You're just seeing, this wide area, and you're not getting this Hubble telescope of actually looking in and seeing exactly what you need to see to be profitable. With that said, I started out about 1.5 years ago, and every single month, pretty much, I've been increasing my sales. I'm selling more and more products, and it's becoming easier every time I launch a product to actually start making money with it pretty quick.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can definitely relate to a few of the things that you mentioned as well, when it comes to, building the niche sites and going the SEO route and doing all that stuff. Because that's one of the reasons why I moved away from niche sites as well and started doing a lot more stuff with video, because for that very reason, I was doing a lot with niche sites. I was building niche site after niche site after niche site. And then, from one day to the next, Google decided, your sites aren't good enough, and boom, wiped my income completely flat. So we kind of probably went through the same thing, because Penguin was the one that wiped me out as well. So when it comes to Amazon, just a general idea, how difficult is it to actually get started? How is it to actually create an account? Does Amazon kind of make you jump through a few hoops to actually create an account and be able to start selling on there, or is it something that's fairly simple to do that anyone can follow?
No, it's actually pretty much one of the easiest things you can do. I would consider it easier than AdSense or anything like that. You're not going through a huge approval process. You're really just entering your information and opening a Amazon Seller Central account. And from there, you can start listing your products pretty much immediately. The whole process that we're talking about is really no different with setting up than just selling something on Amazon. If you have a book or something that you want to sell, it's really the same process. You're just we're using Amazon or fulfilled by Amazon rather than it being fulfilled by the merchant, which would be you. So it's really simple. You can get an account set up within a few minutes and start from there.
And that's amazing that you don't need to go out there and buy a domain or set up a website or create a Shopify account or set up a hosting account. None of that stuff. So for those of you guys that are watching right now, you don't have to, obviously you want to pick up the course once we go live, but once you jump off this call, you can go and set up an account right away and be, have already that account set up so that once you're done going through the course, you can already start implementing right away. So that's an amazing thing as well, that you can honestly start a business on Amazon within the next 10 minutes. Even right now while you're watching us, you can be creating your account in the background and you're already started a business on Amazon by the time you're done watching this video, by the time we're done with this live session here. So that's an amazing thing in and of itself. But let's talk a little bit more about the product selection process, because I'm sure or before, let's back up a little bit. Because there might be some people that might be asking, what kind of a budget does it take to actually maybe start their Amazon business? Because some, there's with Shopify, you have to pay the Shopify fees, and then there's some apps that many people recommend to install, and those apps have monthly fees as well, and then the product and things like that. So on average, just what would someone need to get in there and get started with Amazon?
I'd say $500 would be a fair amount, just because you're actually sourcing real products. We're either purchasing them from the United States or overseas in somewhere like China. So I think that's a pretty fair amount. You don't really have a lot of monthly fees, just because you're not dealing, like you said, with hosting or domains or anything like that. So the only really monthly fee that I have is it's an Amazon Seller Central. It's like a pro membership type thing. And if you sell over, I think 50 products per month, it is beneficial for you to have this, because you're saving $1 per order. So Amazon charges you fees that are automatically taken out from your sales. So you really never see this come out unless you go and look at the detail. But they charge you $1. One of their fees is $1 per order, just their standard fee. So this kind of gets rid of that. But as far as recurring stuff, you don't really have a whole lot, which is really nice.
Nice, perfect. And now let's talk about the product selection part. What kind of products, are something that you like to target? You don't have to get obviously specific, but just a general idea of what kind of niches or products that you see are working really well right now.
Yeah, the cool thing is that there's thousands of different categories on Amazon, so you can literally sell anything. I mean, there's you can go from the kitchen and dining category to the baby category, home improvement, all kinds of stuff. So there's so many different avenues you can go down, and in each one of these, there's different products that are going to meet our criteria. And by meeting our criteria, basically, I want to see that it can gain quick traction on Amazon. I want to know that there are a few competitors out there that are selling well, because if I'm going to invest in this, I don't want to, guess that it's going to sell or not. I mean, you want to actually know that it's already getting sales. So on each Amazon listing, if you go and look, unless it's brand new within like the hour, each Amazon listing has a bestseller rating. And what this means is, in this specific category, if it has a 300 bestseller rating, that means it's the 300th bestseller in Amazon in that category. By that, you can kind of estimate what kind of sales you would get from that. And, so for example, if I'm going and picking a product in the baby category, I'm going to go and look and say it has a 300 bestseller rating. Okay, that means that it's selling pretty well, because this is the entire baby category that it's selling in. So then I want to go and look at another couple of competitors' products, and I want to see, okay, well, are these guys selling pretty well as well? So I'm going to go and look at their listings and see how much they're selling. So from that, I can bet that if I can do it better than they are, then I'm going to make money with this product. We're also looking at their product images. How do their product images look? How do their reviews look? The first two things that people look at when they go to an Amazon listing are the product images and their reviews. So we want to see, is this product getting really good reviews? Example is, if we go into the health and beauty category, that's a tough area to sell in, because typically these are women who are extremely critical of products, and it could be makeup, accessories, or something like that, and they may be overly critical of it, and it's going to be really tough to keep a good rating, star rating. So if that starts to fall, then you're bit of trouble there because people aren't going to buy your product as much. So we look at quite a few different things here, and really the category is irrelevant. I always tell people that it's, like the complete opposite from Google AdSense, where I used to teach courses and tell people, pick something you're passionate about, because you're going to be writing about this a lot, writing different articles and everything. This is completely different. It doesn't matter what product you're dealing with. You could be selling, I don't know, it doesn't even matter. If I was selling elephant statues or something stupid like that, it wouldn't matter, because if you're making money with it, it's great.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that might be just a funny example, elephant statues, but I bet there's probably people out there that are passionate about elephants. And I know a friend of mine on Facebook that I follow is absolutely crushing it in the cow niche, which is incredible. There's people out there that are just fascinated by cows, and he just sells products in that niche, and he's just crushing it right now. So you'd be surprised what products people are out there that are passionate. You don't have to be passionate about, but as long as you find people that are passionate about a specific niche, you can sell products to them. So that's definitely great to know that people don't have to, follow that typical recommendation of, go after something that you're passionate about, that you like. So how important is price point? So you say that the product doesn't really matter, but how important is price point? Is there something like a specific price that you like to stay within when it comes to selling on Amazon, or is it just same thing where you can, find whatever?
Yeah, that's a great question. And that's actually one of the criteria that I forgot to mention in the last question. I always try to stick with the price point that's over $10. Just because, like I said, Amazon does charge fees based on the product you choose. So I like to see it over $10, just because you want to have enough room for profit. Now, with that said, if you had a 50-cent product and you're selling it for $10, your Amazon fees are $4 or whatever, you're still making $5 profit per one, or whatever it is. So, it doesn't always go that way, but typically I like to see over $10. And I also like to pick more lightweight products, just because you're shipping by air typically in the beginning, so it can get fairly expensive. But I like to see around like the $15 mark is usually a pretty good price point.
Awesome. And let's talk about sourcing now. When you're getting these products, just some tips on where people can go to get some of these products, or how the actual, I guess, product selling process goes. Are you drop shipping? Are you getting these sold under your own brand? Where are you getting the products?
Yeah, so everything we talk about is selling under your own brand. We want to build our own brand. We want to build our own presence online. When somebody's looking at your products, you want to have eventually more complementary products where people are buying your whole product line rather than just one product. So I source almost directly from a website called Alibaba.com. It's, I think, the most popular website in the entire world to meet suppliers. So anybody can go there. You can, I don't even think you need to open an account to actually go in and look at the products that they have available, but there's only probably one or two products that I haven't actually seen on there that I've tried to find. So they have pretty much everything. Dealing with suppliers, you're really just messaging them. It's pretty easy stuff, but there's definitely an art to it. And what I mean by that is the way that you deal with suppliers, the way that you talk to them, you have to realize they're from a different country. It's a completely different place than in the United States or United Kingdom or Australia or wherever you might be from. So the cool thing about the eCom Edge course is we actually include a checklist of how to talk to suppliers. I actually go through in detail what you should say in the first message that you send to a supplier, what questions you should ask them. And in message 2, it's a little bit different because you're, you may be ordering a sample of something. Message 3, I think it's like 2 pages long, this checklist of everything that you should be looking for. The last thing that I want from anybody is to have to go through, either getting a bad product or dealing with a supplier that's going to be a pain.
Yeah, absolutely. Because that's definitely one thing that's big. That's big about like Ryan said in the course. He covers absolutely everything on how to talk to these people because you don't want to be getting bad products or you don't want to be getting screwed over or anything like that. So make sure when you get in there to follow those checklists when talking to suppliers. And one thing that you mentioned as well is about building a brand. That's the beautiful thing about setting up your business on Amazon is that you're building a brand within one of the biggest e-commerce websites on the internet. All right, and I know for me personally, I've done this several times. That when I go on, I do a lot of fishing. So when I go on Amazon and I look for something for fishing, like a knife or a tackle box or something like that, and I find a good seller and they deliver a great product, I've gone back to their store specifically to find other products that I may need, and if they carry it, there's a good chance that I'm going to get it from them because they delivered the first time, and the product was great, and I kind of built a trust with them already from that purchase that I went the first time. So that's another beautiful thing that you can build a huge brand where you build loyal customers that continue coming to you because you're able to deliver a good product by leveraging Amazon, which is the biggest e-commerce website out there. So that's definitely a beautiful thing that you're not just like going back to the SEO niche site model where you're pretty much not building a brand. You're just building a niche site, getting it ranked, making sales, and just doing that over and over and over again. Not with this. Here, you're building a brand that can sustain long-term success and continue making sales over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, and the cool thing is too that like you said, you're selling complementary products because you like a person's brand on Amazon for fishing. The cool thing is too that Amazon actually rewards this because if you go on Amazon on pretty much any listing, they have it goes down and it says products frequently bought together. So for example, if someone goes and they buy two different ones of my product a lot, then it's going to show that down there, and other people are going to see that because where everybody may not go into my storefront and see all my products that I have for sale, they're going to go to my listing and they're going to scroll down a little bit and they're going to see frequently bought together, and they're going to be like, okay, well, this reel is cool for this fishing pole. Now, people buy these hooks pretty often with it, so now you're going to sell the hooks too.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a great strategy. And I do that all the time. I mean, I can't count the amount of times that I scroll down to that, frequently bought together. Oh man, yeah, I definitely need that too. Boom. And I just buy. Mm-hmm. And the one sale and turns into three because typically, but there's always two extra ones and all the stuff that I buy. And, a $10 sale ends up being, $30 or $40. So that's definitely a great thing that Amazon does in there to completely just, they upsell you right from the beginning, with that nice bundle there at the bottom. So let's talk a little bit about the shipping process. I know you mentioned that earlier that you like keeping your products small so that you can easily ship them. But I know many people may be wondering, do they actually have to do the shipping themselves? Do they have to actually store the products in their garage, in their apartment, or things like that? That might be in the back of some people's mind of, man, having a bunch of products in their home that they have to send out. Do they have to do that, or is there a way around it? How can they streamline the process so that they don't actually have to do the shipping, or if you recommend actually doing the shipping to begin with and then outsourcing it later? How do you recommend someone goes about that?
So I recommend, if you live in the United States, I would try at least at the beginning to do it yourself. If you live outside of the United States, the awesome thing is that there's quite a few services out there. I think one of them is called FBAinspection.com, and they will actually receive it for you and they'll ship it off to Amazon for you. Like I said, if you live in the United States, I would recommend you start doing it first by yourself. So what happens is you are dealing with a supplier, you find a product you like, you get a sample and it looks like a good product. So then you place a full order. Now you receive this order typically to your house or business or wherever you might be. And I always do that because I want to inspect it myself. Even to this day, everything gets shipped to my house because I want to be able to inspect it. In the beginning, I had some issues with how things turned out. It may have been in packaging or the way it was labeled. So I always want to look at it myself and see that everything looks good and not rely on someone else to do it. And after that, what you're doing is you're just shipping it off to Amazon. After that, they really handle all the fulfillment. Now, if the fees were extremely high for shipping, I would think twice about sending it to myself first. But Amazon partners with UPS, and I just shipped off, I was like 400 pounds of product to Amazon yesterday, and it was like $98. So you're talking like it was $6 per box or something like that. And these are pretty good sized boxes. So you save about 70% based off of, the retail UPS prices that a normal person would pay. So, you can forget about that being an issue. But like I said, I want to inspect it myself. I want to make sure everything's working, test a few different products in different boxes and make sure everything looks good. Because the last thing you want is to, have it sent to like a friend's house or something like that and them just ship it off directly without you being able to look at it. But I have used different inspection services where they receive it and they send it off. And FBA inspection is one of the better ones out there. And there's quite a few of them though. So if you're outside of the country, don't let that stop you at all. There's always a way around any issue that you may encounter.
Perfect. And one thing that I got from that there was you're not actually shipping the orders to the customer. So you're only having it shipped to you so you can inspect the product, make sure it's good. And then you send all of the product to Amazon, and then Amazon is the one that ships them to each customer. So that's a good thing there, that you're not actually having to be there. Let's say you get 300 orders in a day and you have to sit there and package 300 orders one by one, and you be the person to send them out. So that can definitely put some peace in some people's mind where, you're having it sent to you so you can inspect the product, make sure it's good quality, and then you send it all to Amazon, and then they're the ones that handle, those 300 orders when they come in, and they send it out for you.
Yep. Yeah, and I had, I think in the last 2 days, I've had almost 1,000 orders, and do you know how much work I've done with that? None. Like you said, Amazon does it. That's what they charge their fees for. That's why they have their fulfilled by Amazon fees, is because they're shipping the product out, they're handling the customer service and returns. Now, with that said, I do handle a little bit of the customer service, because if someone has an issue, I want them to come to me. I want to make it better. So they'll leave a positive review in the end and not a negative review. But as far as returns go and everything, Amazon handles it. The customer ships it back to Amazon, and you never even have to see it.
Awesome, amazing, and that makes it even more exciting. The fact that you just said that within the last day there's been 1,000 orders and you didn't have to ship a single product. That is definitely exciting. So, and one thing too that helps, if once you get it shipped to your place to inspect it. For those people that have, let's say you get a big order, like you said, you have, over 400 pounds, and you want to inspect it. For those of you that have kids or for friends or family, you want to get the family involved. That's a great time to do it. Have people help you out and inspect your product. That's a great way to get people involved in your business.
So I have twins that are about to turn 3, and if I can do this with them around, then anybody can do it. But no, I've literally had them. Let's not talk about child labor here, but I've had them. They just help me put stuff into boxes and tape stuff up and send it off to Amazon. So it is cool. Kids can get involved. My wife helps out a lot. I have a couple other family members that when I needed to package some stuff up, whether it just comes a little bit different of a package than I want or whatever, then they help out too. So it is cool. It does bring everybody together, and after it's shipped off to Amazon, it's pretty much worry-free.
Nice. Now, one question here that might be in some people's head is, let's say you find a product that you have a feeling or that fits your criteria and it's going to sell well.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to Alibaba to select a supplier, how do you go about that process? Do you go to just one person and order a sample from them, or do you order samples from multiple people and then select the best one, I guess, or how do you go about that?
Yeah, and I never do just one sample, just because I want to see a few of them. If I go to a supplier and I say, okay, can I get a sample of this product, and I receive it, it may look good, but is it better? Because if you get 3 samples or so, which is typically the minimum that I use, then it may be better and you may not know it. It may be less expensive and you don't know it. So, and quite a few occasions I've had both where it's actually less expensive and better, just by luck of the draw, I guess. But when I go on Alibaba, I do look for a couple things. They have a little thing called being a gold supplier. I kind of like to see this just to know that they're serious about it. Really what this means, though, is that they purchase a membership on the website and they are considered a gold supplier. So really, if they're a 5-year gold supplier, it just means that they've kept up paying for 5 years. So it doesn't mean that they're really any more qualified than anybody else. The big one, though, is on the Alibaba seller page, it's called on-site certification. It means somebody from Alibaba actually went to their warehouse and made sure that they're actually there, they're actually doing business there. This is huge. I tried to do some importing. It was probably like 6 or 7 years ago where I was selling on eBay, and they didn't even have this back then. They had Alibaba, but they didn't have the on-site certification. And I remember dealing with one supplier, and I was importing electronics, which I typically would never recommend anybody doing at this point. But I received these products and they were wrong, and they gave me their shipping address to send it back, and they said that they would give me my money back. Guess what? It never arrived anywhere. It just pretty much kept floating around to different places. So, this makes sure that they're actually there doing business there in that particular warehouse. They typically have pictures of it too, of their warehouses. So those are the main things that I look for. Other than that, just that when I message them, is that they actually message me back fairly quickly. I like to see within 24 hours, unless it's a weekend.
All right, perfect. And when it comes to the sample, is it the norm for them to be able to send you what if a supplier is they're refusing to send a sample, or is it the norm for them to provide a sample, or how does that work?
The funny thing is, I think 2 days ago was the only time I've ever been denied a sample. And you guess what I told them? I'm going to go find somebody else, because you have to get a sample. It is the norm to provide a sample. Usually they'll give you a sample for free. And if they don't, you should definitely ask them to give it to you for free. And if they don't, I usually just move on. And by free, I mean that they will charge you shipping, just because it does cost them to send it to you. But the actual product cost should be free. So, you should always get a sample. And I always say, if the sample's bad, move on to the next supplier. Don't try to work with them. Don't say, okay, well, this was bad, can I get another sample? Or instead of, this was wrong with the sample, can you make my full order better than that one? Because if the first thing they ever send you is bad, there's going to be issues later on. I can pretty much guarantee it.
Perfect. Yeah. So make sure you write that one down. They get a one chance and you're out.
Yeah.
On there. So if they screw up on the first sample, do not even acknowledge them after that, because just go ahead. And I'm sure there's plenty of sellers on Alibaba that you can work with. So there's no point of even risking continuing to work with someone that sends you a bad sample to begin with. So that's definitely something to write down there. I know for me, that's a good tip for me to write down, because I'm I'm too nice sometimes. I give people too many chances. So that's something that I just wrote down right now, because I'm the person that would give someone 2, 3, 4 chances, and then by the 5th chance, okay, no more, I'm not working with you. And I'm sure there's some people on here that are like that as well, where they're too nice, because I don't like being mean to people. So I kind of like to give them more chances. There's a few questions coming in. Let's see what some people are asking. Derwin is asking, what are the requirements to sign up as a seller at Amazon if you live outside of the US? So is there any difference between people who live in the US and people who live outside of the US, Ryan?
I mean, there's a slight difference, but because I know a lot of people that sell who live in Australia, the United Kingdom, and all kinds of different countries over in Europe and even Canada and elsewhere. But I've never had anybody have an issue with actually selling in the US. The only thing you might have to do, and I'll have to look into this, you might have to get they have like where you can just buy an address for like $10 a month where it goes to. It's kind of like a PO box, a virtual office or something like that. So other than that, I don't think that you really have to worry about anything else. They also have Amazon in pretty much every different country. If you're in Europe, they have Amazon Europe, where you can sell in quite a few different countries based off of just one Seller Central account. So that should not be an issue, and we'll work through any issues that you may have with that.
Perfect. And there's another question. Barteld is asking, can I make Amazon fan pages with this program? Don't want product in Chinese. I'm not sure what you mean by the first question, but the second question is, does eCom Edge program automate description and images for conversion for Amazon products on Facebook fan pages? Barteld, I'm not really sure what you're asking. There's a few, it's a bit, I think you're a little bit confused with your questions. Maybe try rephrasing it. But in the course, we do cover exactly how to optimize your Amazon listings. Maybe that's what you're asking. And when it comes to fan pages, you can definitely use a fan page to promote your products and send them back to your Amazon sales page. So if that's what you're asking, then yes, we do cover that in the program, how to optimize your listings and how to start getting traffic to your listing as well. But I'm not sure if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, if you don't want to buy products from China, you don't have to. You can find suppliers anywhere. Now, there's a caveat to that, and that you're typically going to pay higher prices if you go with the U.S. supplier or whatever country you live in, just because China's known for manufacturing at lower prices. So you're going to definitely pay a higher price for that. As far as automating the description and images, we don't do that, or we can't really automate that. We'll talk about a little bit the done for you service that we're going to offer, where we can definitely help out with picking a product and stuff like that. And also, I think we missed a question about how should we build a brand down there. And really building a brand, it's kind of done a little bit over time, and we're starting with one product. And I include in the course, I talk about picking complementary products and in the same or similar niche. Just so when you are building a brand, that people are going to buy more of your products. So really, it's something that's done over time. It's every time you launch a new product that you're using the same branding, the same logo, and people are going to start to notice your presence on there.
Yeah, absolutely. There was one question. Coco is asking about the OTOs. We'll be covering that here in a few minutes. Once we get to about the 45-minute mark, I'll start talking a little bit more about the product, the upsells, and all of that stuff. Let me see. AJ is asking, can we get a list of the suppliers that you trust? So is that? I'm not really sure. Is that included in the course? The suppliers?
No, it's not. And just because I deal specifically with pretty much one supplier. Rarely two with each product that I have. Since some of my products are in the same niche, I'm actually dealing with the same suppliers. So I don't have a whole lot of suppliers, and they kind of specialize in that, the type of products that I sell. So you should be vetting them yourself. Like I said, with the checklists that I provide, you really can't go wrong with finding a supplier. There's countless millions of suppliers, I believe, on Alibaba. So as long as you go through the checklist and you do your due diligence, then this should not be an issue at all.
Yeah, absolutely. So AJ, just make sure once you get in the course, follow the checklist that we have in there, and you'll be able to find suppliers that meet that criteria that we have in there, and you'll be able to find some good suppliers of your own. Valerie is asking, when you are shipping to Fulfilled by Amazon, do they charge for shipping, and when do they bill your account for this?
So I'm not sure if you're talking about me shipping it to Amazon or Amazon shipping it to the customer. So I'll just explain both really quick. So basically, when I'm shipping to Amazon, I go into my Seller Central account and I say, okay, I'm going to ship in this many units of this product. They say, okay. You put how many boxes you have, so how many pounds they are and the dimensions. Then it's all calculated inside of there, and you print your shipping labels inside of Amazon. So they charge me right in there, and it's automatically charged to your account. Now, when they ship to each customer, it's based off of, like I said, the weight of your product and the size of your product. and those are the main fees right there. There's a couple other little ones too. And it's the same no matter where they ship it to. So that's taken directly out of the sales cost. So if I'm selling a product for $15 and the Amazon fees are $4, then you're only ever going to see $11. It's you never see the fees unless you go into your transaction history, and it's just taken directly out of there.
Perfect. Ade is asking, how long does it take someone to establish themselves on the Amazon sales marketplace?
Yeah, and that's a great question. And, it doesn't take too long. For example, I just launched a new product in an entirely new niche 8 days ago, and 4 days ago, I started seeing quite a few organic sales coming from that. So, it can be pretty quick. And the only methods that I used were the ones that are outlined in this course in module 4, which is all about ranking your product.
Absolutely. So Ade, it obviously depends. But like you said, some of them are going to go faster than others, and some can be as quick as 4 days to start seeing sales. Coco is asking, what is his niche? The ultimate $1 million question. Now, this, of course, is if you want to cover it, you can. I know sometimes I don't like to reveal my niches just because, when it comes to video, which is what I do a lot of people like to flag my videos. So if you want to reveal maybe one of your niches or not, that's completely up to you.
I won't go into too much detail on this, but like the most recent one of my products was in the pet niche. So it doesn't really matter which niche you go into. Like I said, there's countless thousands or millions of products that you can go into. So, I wouldn't worry too much about what niche I'm doing, and, focus on what you want to do. And you can be successful in any niche that you're in. I've been in probably 5 different broad niches and been successful in each one of them. So as long as you're finding the right product, then you're good to go.
Yeah, and inside of eCom Edge, we cover exactly how to do that. So that's one thing that I think a lot of people get caught up in as well is, and I saw this very recently in another course where the guy actually revealed his exact product and his exact niche, and then everyone that bought the course was focused on selling that same product that the vendor revealed in the course, and that kind of, to me, harms the customer because it kind of makes them think that they have to sell that product and there's nothing else out there. So as long as you follow the course inside of eCom Edge and everything that we're sharing with you, you'll be able to find products follow with the criteria that's in there, instead of focusing on the niche and the product that Ryan is in. It'll allow you to instead use the course to find products for your own, and that I think will help you more than knowing the exact product that he's selling and trying to sell that same exact product. AJ is asking, what's the typical cost to get your first order from a supplier?
Yeah, and you can spend pretty much however much money you want to. If you have less, spend less. If you have more, spend more. But typically I see around $500. And, there's a reason for this. So say that, my product is $1 each and I spend $500, I get 500 units. So say I'm ordering from China. Typically the lead time is 22 to 28 days when putting in an order to when it's ready to be shipped. Now, this is just because in Chinese warehouses, they're bringing in machinery. They're doing an order for whatever company that may be domestic there or from the United States, and they go through and they do this entire order. Then they move it out. They change their machinery over, and they do the next product. So you're typically dealing with 22 to 28 days. So say I start selling 10 units a day, moves up to 20 after a couple weeks, and I have to put it in a new order. Okay, well, the problem is that once it starts selling well, I have to wait for the new product to get here. You don't really want to run out of product on Amazon because it can affect your rankings. So I like to order enough, that I can plan out my inventory after a week or so and kind of see where my sales are at and make sure that I'm going to be able to get a new order in. So with that said, I don't want to order like 25 products and, within a week, they're gone, and I have to wait a month to get new product. So it's kind of what you're comfortable with, but that's typically about what I see. Yeah, and I think you're muted, Josh.
I was coughing a little bit. I'm still getting over a cold, so I've been hitting mute so I can cough. Valerie is asking, I know FBA has storage fees. What are the products with the lowest storage fees? Or I guess, how does the storage fees work?
Yeah, and your storage fees are actually not very much until you get into, I believe it's like the 180-day range. So once you're at about 6 months, that's when they start charging long-term storage fees. For example, with my products, and I have quite a few. I think I have 9 products active right now that I'm selling. All of my products, I actually just looked yesterday, they're all within like the 0 to 60 days, meaning they have not sat in the Amazon warehouse for more than 60 days, any of my products. So I'm not even close to dealing with long-term storage fees. They're so minuscule, the ones that you're going to deal with, that you won't even really have to pay attention to them. And that's the short-term storage fees, I mean. So, one way to combat this, if you're worried about inventory management, is keep a certain portion of them in your house or your garage or wherever, and just ship them off as needed.
And that's incredible that you only have 9 products. I mean, mm-hmm. I think that, to be making, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 in a month, most people might think that you have to have a ton of products out there. And I guess it comes back to the 80-20 rule, where 80% of your sales are going to come from 20% of your products. But to think that think that there's only 9 products that he's selling out there, and he's making $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a month. So that's incredible there, where you can make so much and still only be selling 9 products. And so from there, you can just continue growing. And as more products you put in there, the more sales you're going to make. So that's incredible. That's only 9 products that he's selling right now. Let's see. AJ is asking, what are the shipping times from a supplier?
So, around like the holiday season right now, it's going to be a little bit longer. But typically I deal with, it's probably about 5 business days. And this is from China. So 5 business days from when they ship the product to when I receive it. So it's really fast. And this is with air express shipping. And this is why I recommend more lightweight products, is because, you don't want to pay too much. But if you start dealing with shipping by sea, then, you're going to pay substantially less, but it's going to take a little bit or a lot longer. It's typically going to be more like 25 to 30 days. So usually around like 5 business days is a fair estimate.
Awesome, man. And that's pretty quick. If it's coming from China, 5 days, that's impressive that they can get the product from there to over here in 5 days. I mean, sometimes I have to send a letter or something to my brother out in Texas, and it takes 5 days.
I know.
Yeah. So that's crazy. All right, now questions are really starting to come up here. Let me see. NDRI is asking, before Amazon sending the product to customers, how does Amazon get the product before doing so? We covered that a little bit earlier on. So Ryan recommends that first, starting out, you have the products sent to you so you can inspect them. And then you send the products to Amazon's warehouses. And then Amazon is the one that takes care of the shipping to the customers. So the first initial order from the suppliers to you, so that you can inspect your product, make sure it's good, and then you send it to Amazon. Amazon is the one that takes care of the individual orders from your customers. Let me see. Mike is asking, what's your password for the OTO1 software? Yeah, so for those of you that once you purchase, you'll be able to get your own password. And I think we're going in at about 10:50. We'll be going live at 11. So let me quickly talk about the funnel and all the upsells and things for those of you that are asking. So in the front end product, you're going to be getting some really amazing stuff. So you're going to be getting not only the course that walks you through absolutely everything that Ryan does in his business to produce the results that he's getting, which you'll be able to see on the sales page as well. And I showed you earlier on in this presentation as well. But on top of that, you're going to be getting 4 weeks of live training as well. So for each module in the course, we're going to be having a live weekly session to help you understand that module fully. Any questions that you have, you'll be able to come to the live training and get those questions answered. So we want you to understand that we're going to be here to help you. So we're not just going to be selling you a course. We're going to be there to help you along the way as well. Not many people are confident in their course to be able to do that. But of course, Ryan is, and we're going to be there to help you and make sure that you stay on the right track and have that support system in place to help you get results. So in the front end, you're going to be getting the course along with the 4-week training. And in the course, we cover absolutely everything. Like I said, it's broken up into 4 different modules, everything from finding the right products to how to talk to suppliers to, how to order samples, all that stuff covered in detail. And if Ryan, if you want to expand on anything from the course that you think is important to mention of what you're covering.
Yeah, it's broken up into 4 simple modules, and it's really the order that you need to do things. So in the first module, we're talking about finding a good niche and a good product that you're going to sell on Amazon. You move on to module 2, and we're talking about how to deal with suppliers. Module 3 is setting up your listing. So there are some tricks to setting up your listing, how you should do your title, how you should do your bullet points and your description, what type of product images you should choose, whether you're actually having professional ones taken or you're doing actual digital models of your product. And the fun module is module 4, where we talk all about ranking your product, how to do it quickly, how to get showing up on page 1 of Amazon. So it's a really intuitive course, and it's just basically in the perfect order that you need to understand things and to implement it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know a couple of weeks back, you mentioned something to me that was really impressive, that you're doing a few very interesting things to get your products ranked quickly that no one else out there is doing. And, you actually share that in the course as well. So guys, you're getting the full course in the front end product. We're not holding anything back. We're not leaving anything out to sell you in the upsells. You're getting the entire course along with the 4 weeks of live training in the front end. And not only that, but you're also getting the checklist that we mentioned, not just the supplier's checklist, but several different checklists for each module, so that you can make sure that when you're going to implement the information, that you have these checklists and make sure you're following it correctly. For the upsells, many of you are asking about the upsells. The first upsell is a 3-part offer. So we've put together something very special for you guys. So in the first upsell, we're going to be extending the live training sessions to an additional 4 weeks. So for those of you that decide to take advantage of that, which I highly recommend that you do, you're going to be getting not only 4 weeks on the front end, but you're going to be getting an additional 4 weeks. So it's a total of 8 weeks of live mentorship that you'll be getting on a weekly basis. So that's going to help you even more to make sure you're implementing stuff and getting things done correctly. But not only that, you're going to be getting a web-based software that we've put together that helps you to not only keep track of your sales and your rankings, but also helps your product listings get ranked a lot quicker as well. So we'll have a full demo video of that once you hit that page in the offer. But pretty much you'll be able to not only track your own sales and track your rankings, but you'll be able to track your competitors' sales and rankings as well, so you can keep a pulse on their business and what they're doing. And of course, the customer simulation feature, which pretty much kind of tricks Google into ranking your product by creating
Amazon. Oh, you said Google. Yeah, I just want to make sure they know it's Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon. Excuse me. It tricks Amazon into ranking your product on their first page. And it does that by creating these smart URLs, and pretty much it simulates the process of someone searching for your product, clicking on it, checking out, and that helps your product to rank higher in Amazon. So that's part 2 of that offer. And the third part is, excuse me, I completely mixed up the first part and the third part. So the last part of that offer is over 400 done-for-you products. So Ryan has spent the time to actually research products. So for those of you that were asking about what products to sell and things like that, we've put together an Excel document and a PDF document of over 400 products that meet Ryan's criteria that you can start selling right away. So you're going to be getting that. So not only will you be able to pick a product from that list, but you'll be able to match those products to other products to make sure that when you go out and find products on your own, you'll be able to cross-reference that list to make sure that you're picking the right products to sell. So, but if you don't want to do that, if you want to just pick from the 400 products, boom, you can do that. There's over 400 products in that. So, quickly recap the first upsell offer. It's a 3-part offer. You're going to get the Excel document of over 400 done-for-you research products. You're going to get the Amazon Kit software, which allows you to track your rankings and help to get your rankings increased in Amazon. And the third part is to get an additional 4 weeks of live training. So that in and of itself is an extreme value, and it complements the additional, the first offer as well. The second upsell offer is for those of you that want to take things a step further, which is Ryan's Done For You service, where he will select a 100% unique product for your business. All you have to tell him is what niche you'd like to be in, and he will select a 100% unique product. No one else that purchases this offer will be able will get that product that Ryan picks for you. So he will hand select a product that meets his criteria and send it to you so that you can start selling it. And on top of that, once you get that product on Amazon, he's going to throw in 50 done for you Amazon reviews to help that listing get a nice boost and get it ranking on the first page. So for those of you that want that personal attention, where you can get a 100% unique product just for you, you'll be able to get that in the second upsell. The only downside to that offer is that we do have to limit it to the first 250 people, just for obvious sake, because Ryan can't sit there and select the product for thousands of people. So for the first 250 people, you have to make sure you pick up that offer, because once we hit 250, that offer will be going away. And just to recap again, you'll be getting a 100% unique offer, a unique product that Ryan will pick for you that meets his criteria, that you can start selling, along with the 50 done for you product reviews to help your product start ranking on the first page of Amazon. So another incredible offer there as well. And if you want to touch on the done for you or anything as well, Ryan, you can go ahead and do that, and I'll start preparing the link so that once we're live, I can go ahead and paste it in the chat box.
Yeah, and I just want to touch on the 50 reviews, and these are all white hat. It's actual people reviewing your products. So one of the difficulties that people have when starting out is, they don't want to tell their family and friends about the product, or they don't really want to send emails out or messages and say, hey, can you receive this product and then leave a review for me? So it's either, they don't want to, or they don't have enough family and friends to do this. So to combat this, what we do is we will find 50 people to review your product. So these people are leaving unbiased reviews. They typically are 5-star reviews as long as you have a good product. I've never had any issues with having lower reviews, lower than a 4-star review left by somebody. So it just makes it a lot easier, to actually go out and do this. It's going to take you a little bit of time to find this many people to review your product. So we do that for you to help you out. I think that's it about that one. And then the product selection service is really, some people, just have a tough time selecting a product. And I've dealt with hundreds of people who have just been, they find 5 products or so and they just can't choose one. And it completely stops the entire process. Some people don't even move on from it. They're like, they just kind of give up after a few days of not being able to decide on a product. So, between the having the done for you product selected for you, and I'll even help you find a supplier or a few suppliers on Alibaba, which we didn't even mention in this. It's just something I'm going to throw in. There's really nothing stopping you from doing this. So, you'll have a product selected for you. You'll have a supplier or a few suppliers that you can go and order a sample from, and you can pretty much start, moving on immediately and putting in your order. You're muted again.
That we have just hit the 11 o'clock time, so I'll be putting the link to purchase eCom Edge in the chat box now. We'll be sticking around for another few minutes to answer your questions, and then we'll be having to jump off to attend to the new customers. So besides that, guys, if you want to get a in-depth course that walks you through every step of the process that Ryan has used to get the results that he's been able to get. But not only that, we forgot to mention that one very important thing as well is that while Ryan was doing this and people were seeing that all the success he was getting, not only one, but two of his friends came to him for advice on how they can get similar results as well. And he shared with them the exact strategies that are inside of eCom Edge, and both of them went out there and got very similar results, building 5-figure monthly businesses on Amazon, following the exact strategies that you're going to learn inside of eCom Edge. So they're not only working for him, but they've worked for every person that he's shared his strategies with as well, and they've been able to build 5-figure businesses for themselves. So that's another breath of fresh air, because there's a lot of people out there that know how to make money with different strategies, and there's very few people out there that know how to make money with strategies and also teach it to other people in a way that allows them to get similar results. And that's what Ryan has put together inside of eCom Edge. So we'll take a few questions and then we'll jump off. Make sure you get in there, guys. Right now, we do have an early bird offer going on up till about 6 p.m. Eastern today. So between now and then, you'll be able to get it at the best possible price. And you can get it right now for less than the cost of lunch. So make sure you go and do that. Tim is asking any additional costs we should be prepared for when starting, maybe a range, if not an exact number. Yeah, Tim, we covered that earlier. It was about $500 just to get you going, to get the products and things like that. But there are no fees like hosting fees or Shopify fees or anything like that that is recurring crazy anything.
And I'll touch on that real quick. So you are correct in that there's no hosting or domain fees. As far as costs go, you can pretty much get rid of any of the costs that there may be if you want to do things yourself. One of them may be either having images taken of your product or having digital models made of your products. I use Fiverr. It's not $5, but it's typically $30 to $40 to have really good digital models made of my product. So once again, you can do that. You can take the pictures yourself. You can have a professional photographer do them. Most of the things with this whole process is what you're willing to spend on it. So you can do a lot of the stuff yourself and get rid of these fees or costs.
Awesome. Perfect. So I think with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up, guys. Thank you for each of you that joined us on here live and for your participation and getting your questions in there. Hopefully we answered all of your questions. Ryan, thank you for being on here with us. Between now and then, I guess, guys, make sure you get in there and purchase the course. We'd love to have you inside of the members area and on the live weekly sessions. Remember, you will be getting 4 weekly live sessions once you purchase the front-end course. And if you purchase the upsell course, you'll be getting an additional 4 weeks, making it a total of 8 weeks of live mentorship that you'll be getting along with the main course. So any questions that we may not have answered on this one, you'll be able to ask away as much as you want on the live weekly sessions that come with the course, along with the great software that you get in the upsell and the done-for-you product. So thank you, Ryan. We'd love to see you in the members area, and have a great day, everyone.
All right. Thank you, guys.